The executive director of Allied Construction Industries at the time of that report said that the Cincinnati area has been straight up booming. Think about all the big projects that have been going on in just the last couple of years. That moves us into today's Big Bite, where we focus on one particular story or topic happening in our community, a community we believe in with our partners at First State Bank. Stop into one of their local branches or visit online at fsb4me.com to access all the helpful tools and services at First State Bank, built on belief and committed to doing right by our communities. For today's Big Bite presented by First State Bank, we're getting into the construction business. My guest today is former Messer Construction President and CEO Pete Strange, named by the Cincinnati Regional Chamber as a 2026 Great Living Cincinnatian. That's a real title. The construction industry is a complicated one at best, where there are a lot of outside factors that affect things even before the actual construction work begins. Here in Cincinnati, we have seen a number of big projects over just the last 20 years. And there's a ton of work going on right now. CincinnatiTransit.net has a bunch of pictures going back decades showing the construction process for so many things that we have here now. We've talked about before on the show the tremendous change that this area saw with the stadiums more than 2 decades ago, the redevelopment of Over the Rhine, and then getting the Banks project finally going and finished with more work to come there. But about this time last year is when the Associated General Contractors of America put out a report saying that the Cincinnati metro area added 5,800 construction jobs in the year before that, from summer of 24 to the summer of 25. That was the second fastest growth in the country, seeing levels not seen since that transformative work from the early 2000s. Check out this chart here from Fred. That would be the Federal Reserve economic data, showing things back up to the level on the far right, things back up to where they were just before the Great Recession hit in 07 and 08. It's been a steady climb since 2010. The executive director of Allied Construction Industries at the time of that report said that the Cincinnati area has been straight up booming. Think about all the big projects that have been going on in just the last couple of years. Cincinnati's first financial center was a $264 million renovation process that lasted for 18 months right in the heart of downtown. It took more than 2,000 workers to add the 6,000 square foot rooftop terrace, renovate the Queen City Ballroom, modernize the meeting spaces and more, along with the work on that new Elm Street Plaza. That's all open now. That was a massive project that involved a ton of financing, and the overall project isn't done yet. There is still that $500 million convention center hotel where ground was broken just in the last few days. Not far from there, north in the West End, is the mixed-use development that's been dug out near TQL Stadium. That's a more than $300 million project, expected to include new apartments, a new hotel, an entertainment venue, public plaza, and more. That will also need about 2,000 construction workers. It is sitting there ready to go. Last we heard, FC Cincinnati was waiting on a decision about getting unclaimed funds from the state of Ohio to help pay for that big expansion project. Just across the Ohio River in Covington, Kentucky, is where the Combo NKU UK Commonwealth Center is going to be built. That's a $125 million project, secured largely through state funding. That's happening near the riverfront in a part of Covington that's really turning into a bustling center, with the Northern Kentucky Convention Center nearby and the River Center mixed-use development right there along the water. We talked just yesterday about all the work done to expand the Cincinnati Open at the Lindner Family Tennis Center. Hundreds of construction workers operating in a very aggressive time frame, just 11 months. To expand much of that 40-acre site. And there is another big project that's been underway in Mason for a little while now. About this time last year, is when Procter & Gamble announced an expansion at its Mason campus. $450 million for construction projects to put up at least 2 new buildings for research and lab work there to relocate hundreds of workers. We don't know exactly how many construction jobs that massive expansion is generating, but it is a multi-year project that is currently underway, should be done by about the year 2030. And you can't talk about construction in this region these days without bringing up the Brent Spence Companion Bridge. The Ohio Department of Transportation had an update on the construction of that massive span in just the last few days. Take a look.
Another bridge that's making progress is the Brent Spence Companion Bridge in Cincinnati.
The first pour for the first 48 drilled shafts is completed. The Walsh-Kokosing team, along with ODOT, shared a tradition of dropping a miraculous metal into the first concrete pour.
Walsh Construction drops a metal in the first concrete pour of every project. The tradition started over 60 years ago by the Walsh family. This ritual inspires workers to finish the job safely and successfully. It symbolizes faith, teamwork, and the foundation of the building.
ODOT puts out that weekly The Loop show. It's really informative. We are still in the early days of this massive infrastructure project. It is nearly 8 miles of work overall being done because crews aren't just building a new bridge. They are revamping the highway approach on both sides of the river and adjusting interstate traffic to connect. Estimated cost there somewhere around $4 billion, requiring about 6 million hours of work. That'll employ more than 700 skilled trades workers. Total workforce hitting about 1,000 at the peak of construction. We're not even there yet. Targeted completion date there, 2031 for the bridge itself, 2033 for the roadside approaches. That is really not a complete list, just a smattering of some of the bigger projects we're seeing here locally, as plans for other projects like expanding the banks or potentially putting caps on Fort Washington Way are just now in the discussion, really not even planning stages. Lots of talk and lots more work being done, more to come.